A pulling tractor's name can tell a tale. You can get extreme pleasure as long as you keep moving on and keep things all business, or you will be undone or tapped out. There are naughty boys and mean farmers who will show you no mercy. It's an expensive, high-stakes horsepower game, so you better be digging deep, dear, and remember that no green, no glory.
In the heart of the Midwest, there's a band of modern-day marauders. Mounted atop their beasts, they line up to throw down. They are outlaws.
It's a wonderful evening to be in Wisner, Nebraska for the Outlaw Pulling Series and the event known as Thunder by the River. Hello everyone, I'm Claude Wood, and along with Dave Bennett and Rick Carlson, we will be bringing you tonight's action in the limited Pro Stock class.
The limited Pro Stock class, 9,500 pounds, limited on the size of the turbo. Everybody burns the same fuel, and we're going to start off with John Deere, the mean farmer, a past points champion out of Howells, Nebraska. First one on the track. Oh, get a hold. That track got a hold of him, put the front end up in the air, but he's going down the line. David Novak sitting in the seat doing a great job. Boy, he's going to have to make a decision. Is he going to take that pull? You know, Claude, how do you decide? He went 3:23.83. How do you make a decision on this run?
Boy, that's touchy there. It was such a good run. As you said, 3:23. I don't know how you turned that down.
Really, no. Outside the fact that he snuffed it right there on the end, but he was first puller. Let's sit in the seat. Let's pretend we're driving this thing.
And a pretty smooth run. Wheels up a little bit, but didn't lose too much distance because of that.
Not really. You got a little high on the starting line. Now let's sit on the sled. Let's look at it from the other angle. The weight box is coming up. Loading the skid pan right there. That's when the front end went up in the air. The weight box tops out. The tractor gets a hold. He's going to like it. Let's go down to Rick Carlson and see what he had to say about it.
Not a bad place to start. Well, I kind of underestimated the track. I downshifted one gear from normal. I should have downshifted another gear. Kind of choked it off at the end. I moved a little weight forward. I should have moved a little more weight forward. I think it's a good pass, but there's 19 or 20 more behind me. I don't think I'm going to win it, but I'm not going to lose it.
Our next puller is Taylor Van Beek. He won Wisner in 2014, and he also had 14 top 3 finishes that year.
Man's got a pretty good tire cutting business. The Extreme Performance tire cutting business does a lot of work on a lot of the tires that's in this class. Man's out of Rock Valley, Iowa, the home of tractor pulling in Iowa almost. Takes it down the line a pretty good distance. He goes 3:18 and 65. He's 5 feet behind the lead. But here again, Claude, this is a good working track.
And you notice coming right off the line, Taylor dances just a little bit of back and forth, lost a little distance on that.
Well, I keep referring to the fact when you look back behind the sled, you can see your tracks. That's not a good deal. Let's go down the track side.
Taylor, we're close, but it's a solid second.
Yeah, it felt good. Lately we've been having rear end problems and tough time keeping it straight, so it was a straight run, good pulling track here. You know, I'm pretty pleased with second place, so I'm real happy with it.
Our next puller is Rodney Knott. He drives Naughty Boys. He's a farmer, and his son helps him a lot in the pulling.
You seen that device that he's putting around his neck right there? They call it a horse collar. It's a safety device that everybody has to wear, whether you're on a tractor, a modified, a two-wheeler, or four-wheel drive. The International, Rodney Knott, looking over at that flag. He knows he's close. How close it is, 3:23.19. He goes into second place, and Claude, he missed first place by less than a foot. Where did he give up that distance at?
I think it was right on the starting line, Dave, and I saw a little bit of back and forth, and when you do that, you always lose a little bit of distance.
It does cost you. Let's get on board. Let's take a ride right off the line. Skid pan's floated. He's seen the tractor dance just a little bit right there. He did for a fact, so that was where he would love to have gone back and grab that other 3/4 of a foot.
Roger Learman, our next puller, running on red, and the mark to beat is 3:23.83.
They're working on a 3:23 foot. Man out of Marthansville, Missouri, running on red is always running on red. Got some good ground speed. He's going down to see the flagman. That motor wanted to give up, but it didn't give up. It stayed in there. Holy smoke, 323 and 14. He misses second place by 0.05 of a foot.
I guess, Dave, that's why we often refer to it as a sport of inches. A good pull, not very much back and forth.
One more pony would have got him that 1/100th of a foot.
And that'll bring up Alex Barron. Alex won this event in 2014.
Well, he knows what the Wisner track can do. Once again, this track is working on these boys up and down. When you see these tractors all the way to up front, he's got all the way to up front, the motor choked down. We got a good pull here tonight. Not a good distance here, though, at 294 and 15. But, hey, this track is going to make this class work for it.
What's going on here? Looks like they all set up at about the same place, but the track pulled him right.
Well, he definitely drifted over there, and the driver's smart enough to not bite it.
Looking at the leaderboard, David Novak didn't think his distance would hold, but he has the lead so far, the John Deere over the Internationals. When we come back, a promise of no mercy, at least according to Leon Hellebusch. He will pull, and many others, here at Thunder by the River.
This edition of the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association is being brought to you by Will Cross. Good product, good prices, good service. Precision Turbo, the world's foremost manufacturer of high-performance aftermarket turbochargers. O'Reilly Auto Parts, the professional parts people. And by Stage 8, the world's best locking fastener.
Welcome back to Thunder by the River in Wisner, Nebraska, the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series. A great crowd on hand tonight. And our next puller will be Leon Hellebusch, No Mercy, 2014 Excalibur Points Champion.
One of the other stout runners out of Marthasville, Missouri. Points champion, as you said, was Excalibur. Now he's trying to gun down the big boys with the Outlaws. He's running and gunning, but you heard that motor chatter. You heard it choke at 3:13 and 68. A pretty good straight run. Really can't pick it, just needs more ponies.
Nice classic-looking International Harvester. Starts out pretty straight, just a little bit of wheels up.
Not bad, though. You like to transfer that weight to the rear end, but that's when that motor really's got to get down and dig.
Here is your defending points champion. This is Joe Moriando. No green, no glory.
John Deere time again. Let's rock and roll. This boy knows how to do it. Look at that, up in the air. Giving that tractor its head, kind of drifting over to the right a little bit, but he's not fighting it. They're going to burn it in. Nice distance, boy. We're beating that 323 foot to death at 323 and 78. He takes the lead by 0.05 of a foot. How close can we get?
Well, Joe works on his family's sod farm, and at the end of the run here, he sure digs up a lot of sod.
Oh, he digs it in. He let the tractor go. Let's go down trackside. Rick Carlson.
Joe by 0.05. You're in second. There wasn't a little more in it?
You know, maybe if I could have just get a little bit more giddy up, but there was, in the end of the track where I ended up, there wasn't really much there. I just knew that if I hit a brake at the far end of the track, it was going to hurt me more than help me. So.
This is Michael Yankee. He was the 2013 points champion. He hopes to be moving on.
Well, you bring up a good point. Now, the tractor was the points champion 2013, but the driver, Michael, has only driven this tractor a couple of times so far this year. The family kind of sharing driving duties, if you will. Oh, burn in. We went past that 323 mark. He goes 324.02. We got a new leader by 1900. This show is on.
A good pull right from the get-go. You see those tires wrinkled. They get a hold of the track. A little bit of up and down here, but I don't think that took much distance away from it, did it?
Well, it had to take a little bit, but man, that motor, he had dropped a gear. You just listen to this motor on this pass. It didn't choke, it didn't flutter, smoke was flying. Good ground speed, down and hard, going to the other end. He'll be a happy man down talking to Rick Carlson.
Michael, it's red time to jump around the green.
Yeah, hopefully it stays, though. There's a lot of tractors left.
A lot of them left, but you've inched forward. You got a pretty good pull.
Yep, it's only my second time I've ever ran this tractor, so.
What do we got to look forward to on your third time?
Yeah, I hope.
That'll bring up Tony Wortman. He owns a diesel and auto repair business, calls his tractor Tapped Out.
Here is Mr. Competition. He's always there. He's always knocking on the door. But, high up in the air. Hit those wheelie bars. You heard that motor even say, I didn't like that. He would love to put another 100 pounds up on the front end. He goes 3:04 and 76. Now, Claude, watch him go airborne on this replay. Come off the line, milking the clutch, and then up and up right there. That's where he hit the wheelie bars.
And that makes me want to ask, is the track changing here?
This track is floated around a little bit. You're going to see the boys have to move some weight.
Thomas Thies, he's out of Menden, Nebraska, a technician at John Deere.
Yeah, everybody makes fun of him being a John Deere technician driving a Case IH, and he always says, hey, you drive what you got, and he's got the heartbreaker too. Motor's lugging a little bit. Tire speed not there, getting close to that sideline. He's going to have to settle with a distance of 2:91 and 69. Coming off the line, brought the RPM up, slid the clutch, but even at that point, you still hear that motor never got up a few more RPM. He needed more RPM to go farther down the track, but he gave it all that he had.
On the leaderboard, Michael Yankee, for only the second time in the seat, his international takes it away from the John Deere of David Novak. When we come back, it's Dwayne Eman and Stand Clear. You stay with us. Welcome back to Thunder by the River from Wisner, Nebraska, the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series. And that will bring up Dwayne Eman, a senior citizen puller in the sport.
Sitting on top of the tractor called Stand Clear. The tractor's owned by Craig Dennis. Two men work together. Dwayne does the driving, and as you said, he is one of the senior citizens of the sport, but the man knows how to hammer down, and he can hammer with the best of them. He drifted to the left. Now, nobody else has been over there trying something a little different, working the track, but he goes 2:98 and 17.
Well, if you said he drifted to the left, did he do it or did the track do it?
The way you're looking at it right there, when the front end come up, the tractor's just drifted. He never turned the tires, so I don't think he wanted to go over there. You see the sparks flying off. He did hit the brakes. Now, those sparks you see on his right, that is right off of his brake. He was getting close to that sideline. Sitting in the seat, you're seeing what he's seeing. Claude, that white line's coming up close. That's when you start throwing the sparks.
And you don't want to gamble too much, but when you hit the brakes, that'll cost distance. Digging Deep Deer, this is Brent Paddock. He's out of Mound City, Kansas.
New tractor to the Outlaws, new tractor for 2015, a classy looking machine. The new tractor, he's still got to get his weight balance figured out. He got a little bouncy on top, getting way too high right there. He's going to have to find more room to put more weight up on the front. You're going to pull on a power track like they got here at Wisner. Goes the distance of 2:92 and 79. Nothing wrong with the tractor, Claude. It's just the amount of weight that he was able to hold that front end down with.
And that looked like a rough ride right from the beginning.
Oh, yeah, he was hanging on all the way, wanting to go straighter than he did. It just didn't work out for him here today, but that tractor will be back.
Undone is driven by Jason Kopke.
Norfolk, Nebraska is one of the guys that pulls different associations all the time. Spin and grin. Here again, this track is taking them to the left. I don't think they're wanting to go that way, but that's just the way the dirt condition is working. And everybody that goes to the left goes into that distance at the 2:91 and 69. I think they're going to have to stay away from that side.
Yep, you see here he spots the sled pretty much in the center, but Wow, right there, goes right on to the left.
Right off the bat, you're exactly right. He didn't want to go over there. He had to correct. That cost him distance on the other end. The boys going to have to figure out how to get around that.
A good look at Steve Shackelford. He drives all business. Steve is a farmer and promoter of a show in Warrensburg, Missouri.
Oh, yeah, the show in Warrensburg, that's one of the Outlaw big shows. This man's right in the middle of it. Super tough competitor. Always down there. He is all business all the way. He stayed on that right side. You know, we needed to stay away from that left side. He knew what he needed to do. He done it. He done it. 3:26.01. We took the lead.
And how do you take the lead in this class? It all comes down to gearing and matching your horsepower.
And man, did he do a classic job of that. Stayed on that right side, the right gear, the right weight. Let's go down to Rick Carlson.
Steve, you made the most out of a track that's been unkind to everybody.
I think it went away for a while and it came back. I think it was just luck. I really do. I really do. Everybody says that, but I think it was. The tractor ran good tonight. I'm real pleased with that. We got our weight fairly good. We picked the right gear. It was all right.
Well, Steve may say it's luck, but a lot of professional pulling goes into it as well. 4 of your top 5 points contenders for the championship. That will come up in a later episode. Meanwhile, on the show today, still to come, Rod Ewing and a lot of other pullers.
This edition of the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association is being brought to you by VP Racing, Makin' Power, Agency 212, we don't believe in following trends, we unleash new ideas, Sap Brothers, welcome, be our guest, and by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Welcome back to Wisner, Nebraska and Thunder by the River, the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series. Continuing on now with limited pro stock tractors, and our next puller is Rod Ewing, 2-time Iowa State Fair champion.
This guy's been around a long time. Cleo, Iowa, the hometown for the Ramrod 2. Look out turning that steering wheel. Turns those tires, jerks it around. Anytime you jerk a tractor like that, it costs you a little bit of distance. 3:08 and 45 is what he'll have to settle with for the Ramrod 2.
Rod's been out of pulling for a while, but Dave, I think he's glad to be back.
And the Outlaws are very proud to have the man back with us. You got to watch any puller when the front end goes up in there. You got to watch where you twist those steering wheels, because when the tires come down, they put you somewhere you don't want to go.
Here's another guy that's been around pulling for a long time. This is Gary Barron. He's from Ravenna, Nebraska.
If you live in Ravenna, Nebraska, you pretty well got to have a pulling tractor. I think that's one of the rules of the town. I'm not too sure. The high stakes horsepower, brand new for the season. And he's done making a statement. He ain't going to win. He run out of ponies. Right now he's saying, I wish I'd have dropped a gear is what he's saying right now, but he goes the distance at 284 and 69.
Well, maybe a little bit of experimentation on this pull, so you try some things, and maybe they work out, maybe they don't.
Well, brand new tractor, you know, you don't know what kind of horsepower you got with the tire speed until you go to a pull somewhere. Head on, come right at you. Done a good job coming off the line. Motor's trying. Tires got a hold. Right about now, the motor says, I didn't eat my Wheaties this morning.
This is Seth Novak. He drives Bounty Hunter.
Young man sitting on the track, cool looking tractor. Spark coming off the clutch, little blow by off the motor, no problem underneath. Ground speed, front tire skipping. Young man going to the other end. Ah, sweet, sweet little pull. 3:19 and 49 for the Bounty Hunter.
Just a little bit short, but it was still a good pull. You see coming off the line, you mentioned the sparks as he slips the clutch and gets a hold of the track.
Yeah, you don't want to blow the tires off. Young man done very well. He might have been a little more aggressive on the clutch, but hey, he'll take it.
A good look there at Tim Lotman. This is Farmer's Foreplay.
The 7920, this tractor's always in contention. You see the works for sale on the side of it? Young man's wanting to move up to the big pro stock. Oh, hang on, Leroy, take a bounce. Something broke in the drive line, something turned loose. Hey, Claude, the price just went down. You need to go buy that tractor.
He's going to have to advertise a whole lot to sell this tractor now.
Let's see if we can figure out what might have broke on it. It was pretty aggressive. Motor went upstairs. You heard that motor go upstairs. That means it's separated from the rear end, and that is just going to cost $1.98 to fix, but he will be back on the track. Ooh, you hate to hear them RPMs go upstairs like that.
One puller remains. That is Robert Davison, and the mark to beat is 326 feet.
Red Iron International is going to win this class, but which international? Man out of Malloy, Iowa. He set up to the left. Now, we've been talking about that left side. Run out of ponies. Run out of ponies. He was running a proud gear. He was going to try to get up and giddy up go. 275 and 54.
Well, I think, Dave, he gave it all it had, but it just didn't have enough.
Just didn't have enough for the gear that he selected. Fire coming out of the stack. He had the horsepower at that point. You just have to live with it.
Final result, Steve Shackelford keeping it all business, and that paid off today. Internationals first and second place. Let's go to Rick.
Hey, Steve, that's a big spot. A lot of people congratulating you.
Yes, I really enjoyed this. I'm going to take up some time tonight. I want to first thank these folks here at Wisner for putting on such a wonderful event. I think the entire Outlaw organization looks forward to coming up here every year. I know we do. My family does. We really appreciate their efforts. My mom and dad are here tonight. I want to say thanks to them for coming up here. My son Cole is playing football tonight. He's normally right beside me helping out. He's not able to make it because he's playing football, but I really appreciate the opportunity to come up here, and we've had a great time.
Well, they just set the stage for the pull-off to the championship. 5 guys are all going to wrestle for it. Coming up in a couple of weeks.
It's going to get interesting. That'll put a wrap on it today from Wisner, Nebraska. Now for Rick Carlson and Dave Bennett, Claude Wood, so long. See you next time.